Ever find yourself like totally frozen, wanting to do something but just like held back? Like you're at a networking event.
Oh, yeah.
And you spot someone who could be like key to your career, but you just hesitate to approach them.
Right.
Or you have a killer idea, but the fear of judgment keeps you silent.
Yeah, I've been there.
We've all been there.
Definitely.
The shocking truth is, even those people who just seem oozing with confidence,
right,
they started at zero.
Yeah.
Just like with any new skill, confidence is built, not magically possessed.
Right.
And in this deep dive, we are going to unpack the action-based guide to building that unshakable confidence you crave.
It's so common to think like, I'll do X when I feel confident.
Right.
But that's the trap.
What
if we flip the script?
Okay.
Confidence isn't the starting line, it's the destination. It's the reward for taking action, not the prerequisite.
So instead of waiting for this like elusive feeling, we need to redefine what confidence actually is, right?
Absolutely. It's not about swagger or never feeling fear.
Right.
Confidence is simply the willingness to try, even when you're unsure. Remember learning to ride a bike.
Oh, yeah.
Those wobbly legs, maybe a few scrapes, but you kept getting back on. The confidence came from the doing, not the other way around.
I can like picture myself all elbows and knees on that bike.
Yeah.
But you're right. The more I tried, the less scary it got, and eventually I was cruising.
Exactly. That's the competence loop in action.
Okay.
Each attempt, whether a success or a learning experience, builds competence.
Okay.
And competence fuels confidence.
Oh.
It's an upward spiral.
This is already making me rethink my whole approach.
Yeah.
But there are so many myths about confidence, it's hard to know what's real.
Yeah.
Like, don't you have to be super outgoing to be confident?
That's myth number one we need to bust wide open.
Okay.
True confidence isn't about personality type. You can be quiet, introspective, and still have deep confidence. Think of some of the most accomplished people in history.
Right.
Many were known for their thoughtful, even reserved nature.
Okay.
True confidence is about trusting yourself, not being the loudest voice in the room.
So it's not about faking it till you make it.
Right.
But more about aligning your actions with your true self.
Precisely. Bravado is fragile. Genuine confidence comes from knowing your values and acting accordingly, regardless of external validation.
That makes a lot of sense. But another myth that trips me up is thinking confidence comes only from winning. Like, if I mess up, doesn't that dent my confidence?
This is a major misconception. Confidence is often forged through challenges and setbacks. Imagine a pro athlete.
Okay.
Do they only train on winning days? Of course not.
Right.
It's the tough practices, the losses. Those are the crucibles where real confidence is built because it teaches resilience, the ability to bounce back, which is essential for unshakable confidence.
So those moments I see as failures are actually prime confidence building opportunities.
Absolutely. Think of it like learning any skill. You don't master the piano without hitting a few wrong notes.
Right.
Each mistake provides valuable feedback, helping you refine your approach. It's the same with confidence. Embracing those challenges is what makes you stronger.
Okay, this is a total mindset shift. It's not about avoiding those tough spots, but using them to our advantage.
Exactly.
But what about when it feels like you've just lost your confidence? Like something happens and your mojo just vanishes.
Here's the truth. You can't lose confidence. It's always there, a potential within you.
Okay.
What you might lose is that feeling of self-assurance that comes from past successes. But that feeling is not the source of confidence, it's a result of it.
So even when I'm in a slump, feeling totally unsure, that spark is still there, just buried under self-doubt.
Exactly. And you reignite it not by waiting for the feeling to return, but by taking action. By remembering that setbacks are temporary and you always have the power to choose to try again, to learn, and to keep moving forward.
This is seriously empowering. So we've busted some myths, we've redefined confidence, now comes the exciting part, right? What are the tools we can use to build this unshakable confidence?
Let's equip you with some practical strategies.
Okay.
Tool number one is the 5-second rule.
I've heard of this. Doesn't it involve counting backwards?
Yes. It's deceptively simple, but backed by neuroscience.
Okay.
When you feel hesitation or fear creeping in, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then immediately take action towards your goal. It's like a mental circuit breaker.
So before I can overthink or talk myself out of it, I'm already in motion.
Exactly. Counting backwards engages your prefrontal cortex, the decision-making part of your brain.
Okay.
It shifts you from a reactive state fueled by fear to a proactive one driven by intention.
So it's not about suddenly feeling brave. It's about outsmarting that hesitation before it takes over.
Precisely. And the physical act of moving even a small step reinforces that decision,
Yeah.
building momentum.
It's like telling your brain, we're doing this, no arguments.
Oh, I love it. But can you give like a real-life example of how this works?
Sure.
Like beyond just getting out of bed on a cold morning.
Imagine you're at that networking event.
Okay.
You spot the person you want to talk to.
Uh-huh.
But fear is holding you back.
Right.
Instead of letting anxiety build, you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and walk towards them.
Okay.
By the time you reach one, you're already initiating the conversation before fear has a chance to paralyze you.
Wow, that's so practical. It's like hacking your brain to bypass the fear. And the more you use it, the easier it gets, right?
Exactly. You're rewiring your brain to associate action with positive outcomes. It's about creating a new habit, one of courage and confidence.
Okay, tool number 1 is in my mental toolkit for sure. What's next?
Tool number 2 is the power of objectivity.
It's about stepping back from those emotionally charged moments and gaining a clearer perspective.
Because when you're caught in fear or self-doubt, it's like everything gets blown out of proportion, right?
Exactly. It's like viewing the situation through a distorted lens. The power of objectivity helps you step back, see the bigger picture, and access your inner resources.
So how do we actually do that? Detach ourselves from the emotional whirlwind?
There are a couple of techniques.
Okay.
One is creating an alter ego.
Okay, this sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
Like a superhero version of myself.
Think of it as embodying the qualities you want to cultivate. Give this alter ego a name, a backstory, even a visual image. This isn't about being someone else, but tapping into aspects of yourself you may not readily express.
So if I struggle with public speaking,
Yeah.
I could imagine an alter ego who is like a captivating speaker and sort of channel that energy.
Precisely. When facing a challenge, ask yourself, what would my alter ego do?
Okay.
It creates psychological distance from your fears, allowing for bolder action.
That's brilliant. It takes the pressure off of me being perfect.
Yeah.
What's the other technique?
Future self-visualization. Imagine yourself 5 or 10 years down the road, having achieved your goals, overcome the challenges you're facing now.
Right.
Tap into the wisdom of that future self.
It's like getting advice from a mentor who knows exactly what I'm capable of.
Exactly. You can even have a conversation with your future self in your mind. Ask for guidance on your current situation.
Okay.
It helps you see your challenges as temporary and reinforces your potential.
I love that. It shifts the focus from I can't to I will. This objectivity tool is powerful. What's next in our confidence arsenal?
Tool number 3, preparation.
Okay.
It's the antidote to anxiety and the foundation of competence. Think of it this way when you feel prepared, whether it's for a presentation, a tough conversation, or even a physical challenge, you naturally feel more confident.
Because you've done the work.
Yeah.
You have a plan.
Right.
So the unknown is less scary.
Exactly. Preparation reduces uncertainty, which is a major fuel for anxiety. It allows you to anticipate challenges, gather the necessary information, and practice your skills until they feel more automatic.
It's like the difference between walking into a test knowing you studied versus winging it.
Yeah.
That feeling of readiness is like half the battle.
And the more prepared you feel, the more competent you become.
Right.
Which, as we've discussed, directly fuels confidence. It's a positive feedback loop.
So preparation isn't just about the task at hand.
Right.
It's about building a deeper sense of capability.
Exactly.
But I think a lot of people, myself included, get stuck because they don't want to put in the work if it might lead to failure.
Yeah.
How do we deal with that fear?
That brings us to tool number 4, mindset reframing, specifically around failure. We're conditioned to see failure as a negative, a sign of weakness. But what if we reframed it as a crucial part of growth?
Easier said than done, right? It still stings to mess up.
Of course, but consider this.
Okay.
If you were learning to play the guitar, Would you expect to play perfectly from day one?
Right. No.
The mistakes, the fumbled chords, those are feedback, not failures. They help you adjust and improve.
So it's not about avoiding mistakes, but changing how we view them.
Exactly. Embrace a growth mindset.
Okay.
The belief that our abilities are not fixed, but can be developed through effort and learning.
Right.
Failure becomes a stepping stone, not a roadblock.
This is so powerful. It takes the pressure off needing to be perfect. But how do we shift from fearing failure to seeing it as a learning opportunity?
Start by asking yourself,
okay,
why is this goal important to me? What are the potential benefits of achieving it?
Okay.
When you connect your actions to a larger purpose,
right,
to something that truly matters to you, it becomes easier to embrace the inevitable stumbles along the way.
Because the fear of messing up is outweighed by the desire to reach that goal.
Exactly. Your why becomes your anchor, keeping you motivated and resilient even when faced with setbacks.
Okay, this is a game changer.
Yeah.
I'm already starting to see how these tools work together. What's the final piece of the puzzle?
Tool number 5 is crucial in our hyper-connected world. Focus on you.
Because it's so easy to get caught in the comparison trap.
Yeah.
Especially with social media.
Absolutely. The constant barrage of curated perfection
right,
can erode your self-esteem. Remember, social media is a highlight reel, not reality.
So scrolling through everyone else's best life actually undermines our own confidence.
It can if you let it. That's why shifting your focus inward is crucial. Cultivate self-acceptance. Celebrate your unique strengths and progress.
It's about recognizing our inherent worth, not tying it to external validation.
Precisely. Instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on your own journey.
Okay.
Celebrate each milestone. Acknowledge your growth no matter how small.
It's like giving ourselves credit for how far we've come instead of constantly looking at what everyone else is doing.
Exactly. And be mindful of your mental diet. Just as you choose healthy foods, choose inputs that support your well-being.
Okay.
Follow accounts that inspire you.
Right.
Read material that uplifts you. Engage with people who support your growth.
This is so important. It's like creating a positive feedback loop for your mind instead of letting negativity chip away at your confidence.
Now that we've laid out these 5 tools, let's dive deeper into each one and explore how you can integrate them into your daily life to create lasting, unshakable confidence.
I'm ready to take this toolkit for a test drive. Let's bring it down.
Let's do it. Let's start with the 5-second rule. Remember, it's about taking action before your doubts have a chance to, take over. Imagine it like this. Your inner critic is writing a whole script about why you shouldn't do something.
Okay.
The 5-second rule is like hitting the mute button before that script can even play.
So instead of getting stuck in that mental loop of fear, I'm already doing the thing.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah.
But how do I actually make this a habit?
Consistency is key.
Yeah.
The more you use the 5-second rule, the more your brain learns to associate hesitation with immediate action.
Okay.
It becomes a mental shortcut to confidence. Think of it like building muscle memory, but for courage.
So every time I catch myself hesitating, I hit that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and just go for it.
Exactly. Yeah. Over time, you'll notice that gap between thinking and doing starts to shrink. You're training your brain to respond differently to those moments of doubt.
Okay, I'm ready to start practicing. What about the second tool, the power of objectivity? I'm really intrigued by this idea of creating an alter ego.
It's a surprisingly powerful technique. Think of all the roles you play in life, friend, colleague, maybe even a weekend rock climber.
Yeah.
Each role has a slightly different energy, a different way of being. Your alter ego is like tapping into a role that embodies the qualities you want to strengthen.
So it's not about pretending to be someone I'm not, but accessing a part of myself that might be a bit dormant.
Exactly. Let's say you struggle with assertiveness at work. Create an alter ego who is confident, clear, and calmly stands their ground. Give them a name, a backstory, even a visual image.
So when I'm facing a situation that calls for assertiveness, I channel my inner, let's call her fearless Fiona.
Perfect. It might feel a bit silly at first, but by stepping into this role, you're creating psychological distance from your usual patterns of behavior. You're accessing a different energy, a different set of responses.
It's like giving myself permission to act differently because it's Fiona doing it, not me. That's fascinating. What about future self-visualization? How do I actually do that?
Find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and imagine yourself 5 or 10 years in the future.
Okay.
Visualize yourself having achieved the goals you're working towards, overcome the challenges you're facing now.
Right.
Really feel it, see it, hear it.
So I'm not just thinking about the future, I'm embodying it, feeling what it would be like to be that confident, successful version of myself.
Exactly. And then have a conversation with that future self.
Okay.
Ask for advice on your current situation. It can be as simple as, hey, future me, how did you handle this? What do I need to know right now?
It's like getting a pep talk from the most supportive, knowledgeable version of myself.
I love that. Okay, tool number 3, preparation. This one feels pretty straightforward, and I'm sure there's more to it than just making a to-do list.
Preparation is about more than just logistics. It's about building a sense of mastery and control, which directly impacts your confidence.
So it's not just about knowing what to do, but feeling capable of doing it.
Exactly. Let's say you have to give a presentation at work.
Okay.
Thorough preparation means not just writing the slides.
Gravitate, but practicing your delivery,
right?
Anticipating potential questions,
Mm-hmm.
even planning your outfit so you feel comfortable and confident. It's about eliminating as many unknowns as possible.
Because the more I can control, the less space there is for anxiety to take over.
Precisely. And each time you prepare effectively and see a positive outcome, it reinforces that sense of, I can handle this.
Right.
Further boosting your confidence.
Okay, I'm seeing how this works. But I think a lot of us, including myself, get tripped up by the fear of failure. Even if I prepare, what if I still mess up? That's where tool number 4 comes in, right?
Yes, reframing failure is crucial. We're conditioned to avoid failure, see it as a reflection of our worth.
Right.
But high achievers, those oozing with confidence, they see failure differently.
How so? It still doesn't feel good to mess up.
Of course not. But they understand that failure is data. It's feedback.
All right.
Think of it like a scientific experiment. You have a hypothesis. You test it.
Right.
And sometimes the results are unexpected.
But instead of seeing that as a failed experiment, it's an opportunity to learn and refine.
Exactly. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I adjust my approach next time? It's about extracting the valuable lesson from the experience.
So it's not about avoiding failure, but changing how we react to it.
Precisely. And remember, connect your actions to your why. If you're truly passionate about a goal, setbacks become temporary obstacles, not reasons to give up.
Okay.
That passion fuels your resilience.
This is such a powerful shift. It's about focusing on the learning, not the perceived failure. I'm starting to understand how confidence is really built. But I think a lot of us struggle with feeling confident when we're constantly comparing ourselves to others.
Absolutely. That's where tool number 5, focus on you, becomes essential. It's about understanding that the comparison game is rigged, especially in the age of social media where everyone is presenting a curated version of themselves.
It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, everyone else has it figured out, why don't I?
But remember, you're only seeing a snapshot, a carefully chosen highlight reel. You're not seeing the behind-the-scenes struggles, the doubts, the setbacks. Everyone has them.
So scrolling through Instagram is basically a confidence killer.
It can be if you let it. The key is to be mindful of your inputs.
Okay.
Curate your social media feed.
Right.
Choose to follow accounts that inspire you, uplift you, not those that make you feel inadequate.
Yeah.
And limit your exposure to those that trigger comparisons.
It's like choosing healthy food for your mind instead of junk food that makes you feel bad about yourself.
Exactly. And just as important, practice gratitude. Focus on what you have, what you've accomplished, what you're grateful for. It shifts your attention away from what you lack and fosters a sense of abundance, which naturally boosts confidence.
This is so important. It's about recognizing our inherent worth, not tying it to external validation. But what about those moments when I'm struggling, when the self-doubt creeps in? How do I silence that inner critic?
That inner critic is something we all have. It's like a default setting programmed by past experiences, societal expectations, all sorts of things. But the good news is we can reprogram it.
Reprogram my inner critic? Is that even possible?
Absolutely. It starts with awareness.
Okay.
Pay attention to that voice in your head. Notice the language it uses, the tone, the stories it tells you about yourself.
So instead of just letting those negative thoughts run wild, I actually listen to what they're saying.
Exactly. And then challenge them. Ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is it even true? Often you'll find that those critical thoughts are based on fear, not facts.
It's like putting those thoughts on trial, cross-examining them to see if they hold up.
Precisely. And then replace those negative thoughts with more positive, supportive ones.
Okay.
Affirmations can be powerful tools for this. For example, if your inner critic says, I'm not good enough,
right,
counter it with, I am capable, I am worthy, I am learning and growing.
So it's about creating a new script.
Yeah.
A more empowering narrative about myself.
Exactly. And the more you practice this, the louder that positive voice becomes and the quieter that inner critic gets. It's about rewiring your brain to support your confidence, not undermine it.
Okay, this is starting to make sense. But I think a lot of people, myself included, get stuck because they're waiting for this perfect moment to feel confident. Like, I'll start that project when I feel more confident, or I'll go to that social event when I'm not so anxious.
That's the trap of perfectionism. It keeps you paralyzed, waiting for a feeling that may never come.
Right.
Remember, confidence is built through action, not through waiting.
So it's about saying yes to opportunities, even if I'm not feeling 100% ready.
Exactly. Embrace the idea that you'll figure it out as you go. And even if you make mistakes, those are learning opportunities, not failures.
It's about embracing the process. The messy, imperfect process of growth.
Precisely. And remember, progress, not perfection, is the goal.
This is such a liberating mindset shift. It takes the pressure off needing to have it all figured out before I even start. But I think another challenge for a lot of people is that they feel like they have to do this alone. Like confidence is this solo mission.
That's a common misconception. In reality, building confidence is often easier and more enjoyable when we have support.
So it's not about being a lone wolf toughing it out on our own.
Not at all. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, encourage you, and celebrate your wins, share your goals with them, ask for their support, and be open to their feedback.
It's like having a cheerleading squad pushing me forward and reminding me of my strengths.
Exactly. And don't forget to be that supportive person for others. Offer encouragement, celebrate their successes, and lend a listening ear when they're struggling. Because giving support is just as empowering as receiving it.
This is such a valuable reminder. It's about building each other up, not tearing each other down. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, but I want to make sure we really drive home how to make these tools a part of everyday life. How do we go from knowing about them to actually using them consistently?
It's like any new skill, it takes practice. Start by choosing one tool to focus on each week. Really immerse yourself in it. Look for opportunities to apply it in different situations.
Instead of trying to do everything at once, I pick one tool and make it my priority.
Exactly. For example, if you choose the 5-second rule, use it for everything getting out of bed. Starting a task you've been procrastinating on. Speaking up in a meeting.
And the more I use it, the more natural it will become.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're creating new neural pathways, training your brain to respond differently to challenges. And don't be afraid to experiment. See what works best for you. Adapt the tools to fit your individual needs and personality.
It's about creating a personalized confidence toolkit that I can rely on. What else can we do to make this a lasting change?
Tracking your progress can be incredibly motivating. Keep a journal. Use a habit tracker app, or simply make a note in your phone every time you use one of the tools and how it impacted the situation.
Like concrete proof that I'm making progress, even if it's not always obvious.
Exactly. And celebrate those wins, no matter how small. Acknowledge your courage, your resilience, your growth. Because positive reinforcement strengthens those new neural pathways, making it easier to stay on track.
This is so important. It's about recognizing our effort and acknowledging how far we've come. Okay, we've talked about the tools, we've talked about making them habits, but I think there's a deeper level to confidence that we haven't explored yet. It's not just about doing, it's about being. How do we cultivate that confident presence, that inner strength that radiates outwards?
You've hit on a crucial point. Confidence isn't just about actions, it's about how you carry yourself, how you show up in the world.
And a lot of that comes down to body language.
Because our nonverbal communication speaks volumes, right? Slouching, avoiding eye contact, those send a message of insecurity.
Exactly. And the interesting thing is it works both ways. Even if you're not feeling confident internally, adjusting your body language can actually shift your internal state.
So faking it till you make it back does have some merit, but not in the superficial way.
Think of it as acting as if. Stand tall, shoulders back, chin up, make eye contact, smile genuinely, and move with purpose. These subtle shifts signal confidence to others, but they also send a message to your own brain.
It's like my body is telling my mind, hey, we got this.
Exactly. It's called embodied cognition. Your physical state influences your mental and emotional state. So even if you're feeling nervous, act as if you're confident, and you might be surprised at how quickly those feelings follow. This is a game changer. It's like a secret weapon for those moments when I need a confidence boost.
And another key aspect of confident being is self-compassion. We all have those moments of self-doubt,
right?
Those inner critics that tell us we're not good enough.
Oh, believe me, I know that voice all too well.
We all do. But instead of beating yourself up, treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend who's struggling.
Because I would never tell a friend they're a failure, so why am I so harsh on myself?
Exactly. Acknowledge your feelings. Validate your experiences, and remind yourself that you're doing the best you can.
So it's about being on my own team, being my own cheerleader, even when things get tough.
Precisely. Self-compassion creates a safe space for you to learn, grow, and build confidence without the constant pressure of self-judgment.
This is so important. It's about being kind to ourselves throughout the process, not just when we achieve a goal. Okay, we've talked a lot about the internal aspects of confidence, but I think our external environment can play a big role as well.
Absolutely. Your physical space can either support or sabotage your confidence. Think about it.
Right.
If you're constantly surrounded by clutter, chaos, and unfinished projects, it can be draining and make you feel overwhelmed.
It's like my physical environment is reflecting my inner state of overwhelm.
Exactly. So take some time to declutter and organize your space. Create a calm, inviting environment that supports your well-being.
It's like giving myself the gift of a sanctuary, a space where I can relax, recharge, and feel more in control.
And don't forget about your digital environment as well. Unsubscribe from email lists that clog your inbox. Unfollow social media accounts that trigger negative emotions. And limit your exposure to news and media that makes you feel anxious or overwhelmed.
It's about creating boundaries, protecting my mental and emotional space from those energy vampires.
Exactly. And remember, you have the power to choose what you allow into your life, both physically and digitally. Curate your environment to support your confidence and well-being.
This is such a powerful reminder. It's not just about our internal state, but also about creating an external environment that supports our growth. Okay, we've covered a lot of strategies, but I think one of the biggest challenges for a lot of people is staying motivated. How do we keep that momentum going when the initial enthusiasm wears off?
That's where celebrating your wins comes in. It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle, focusing on what we haven't achieved yet, that we forget to acknowledge how far we've come.
It's like we're so busy climbing the ladder that we forget to enjoy the view along the way.
Exactly. So make it a habit to celebrate your wins no matter how small. Completed a challenging task. Give yourself a high five. Overcame a fear. Treat yourself to something you enjoy. Made progress toward a goal. Acknowledge your effort and dedication.
Because those small victories add up to big wins over time.
Precisely. And celebrating those wins reinforces those positive neural pathways, making it easier to stay motivated and keep moving forward.
This is such a valuable reminder. It's about taking the time to appreciate ourselves and our accomplishments, not just focusing on what's next on the to-do list.
And another key to staying motivated is to connect your actions to your why. Remember, why is this goal important to you? What are the benefits of achieving it? How will it impact your life and the lives of those around you?
Because when we have a strong why, it fuels our passion and keeps us going even when things get tough.
Exactly. Your why becomes your anchor, your guiding star, reminding you of the bigger picture and keeping you focused on the ultimate destination.
Okay, we've talked a lot about building confidence, but I think it's important to address the fact that sometimes life throws us curveballs. Things happen that can really shake our confidence no matter how much work we've done. How do we handle those unexpected challenges?
Resilience is key. It's the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to adapt to change, and to keep moving forward even when things get tough.
But resilience isn't something we're born with,
right?
It's something we can cultivate.
Absolutely. And one of the best ways to build resilience is to reframe challenges as opportunities for growth.
So instead of seeing a setback as a failure, we see it as a chance to learn, to adapt, to become stronger.
Exactly. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this to become more resilient, more resourceful, more adaptable?
It's about shifting our perspective, seeing the obstacle as a stepping stone, not a roadblock.
And remember, you don't have to go through challenges alone. Reach out for support from friends, family mentors, or even a therapist. Talking about your struggles can help you process them, gain perspective, and find new ways to cope.
It's about recognizing that we're not superhuman, and it's okay to ask for help when we need it.
Absolutely. And sometimes the most resilient thing you can do is simply give yourself permission to rest, to recharge, and to come back to the challenge with fresh eyes and renewed energy.
This is so important. It's about taking care of ourselves, both physically and emotionally, so we have the strength to face whatever comes our way.
Now, let's talk about another aspect of confidence that can be challenging, dealing with criticism. Because no matter how confident we are, criticism can still sting.
Especially if it comes from someone we respect or care about.
Absolutely. But the key to handling criticism constructively is to separate the message from the messenger.
So it's not about taking the criticism personally, but focusing on the information it might contain.
Exactly. Ask yourself, is there any truth to this feedback? Is there something I can learn from this?
Because sometimes criticism can be a valuable opportunity for growth, even if it's delivered poorly.
Absolutely. And if you're unsure about the validity of the criticism, get a second opinion from someone you trust.
It's about getting a more objective perspective, separating the emotion from the information.
And remember, you don't have to accept every piece of criticism that comes your way. You have the right to disagree, to set boundaries, and to protect your emotional well-being.
It's about discerning what's helpful and what's not, and choosing to focus on feedback that aligns with my values and goals.
Now, as we wrap up this exploration of confidence-building strategies, I want to leave you with a few final thoughts.
I'm all ears.
Building confidence is a journey, not a destination. It's a continuous process of learning, growing, and evolving.
So it's not about reaching some magical point where we suddenly feel confident all the time.
Exactly. There will be ups and downs, moments of self-doubt, and challenges that test our resolve.
But the key is to embrace the process. The messy, imperfect process of becoming more confident over time.
Precisely. And remember, confidence is not a solo mission. Surround yourself with supportive people who believe in all, encourage you, and celebrate your wins.
Because we all need a cheering squad, a team of people who remind us of our strengths and lift us up when we're feeling down.
And finally, remember that you have within you everything you need to build unshakable confidence. It's not something you have to search for or wait for. It's something you cultivate, nurture, and choose to embody every single day.
This has been such an insightful conversation. I'm already feeling more equipped to tackle those moments of self-doubt and build the confidence I need to achieve my goals.
I'm so glad to hear that. And remember, these tools are meant to be used, practiced, and adapted to fit your individual needs. The more you use them, the more natural they will become, and the more confident you will feel in all areas of your life.
Now let's wrap things up with a quick recap of the key takeaways and some practical steps you can take to start building your own unshakable confidence. Okay, so let's do like a super quick recap of those 5 powerful tools for building that unshakable confidence.
Absolutely. First up, we've got the 5-second rule. You know it's your secret weapon against hesitation. When that fear or procrastination strikes, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just act. Don't give your doubts time to take root.
It's like outsmarting your inner critic before they can even start their monologue.
Exactly. And then we have the power of objectivity. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, or just caught in that spiral of self-doubt, just step back and gain a fresh perspective.
Okay.
Remember those 2 techniques. Creating an alter ego who embodies the qualities you want to cultivate, and then future self-visualization, tapping into the wisdom of the you who's already achieved your goals.
It's like having an inner mentor and a superhero sidekick all rolled into one. I love it.
Yeah. And then we have preparation, that foundation of competence, and the antidote to anxiety. Remember, it's not just about making lists. It's about feeling truly ready.
Okay.
Knowing you've done the work and just minimizing those unknowns that can fuel fear.
It's like the difference between showing up for a test having studied versus just hoping for the best. That feeling of preparedness is a confidence booster in itself.
Exactly. And then, speaking of handling those moments when things don't go as planned, we have reframing failure. It's about shifting your perspective, seeing setbacks not as defeats, but as valuable data points on your journey to success.
Okay.
Embrace a growth mindset, learn from those experiences, and use them to refine your approach.
It's like turning those failures into fuel for growth.
Right. And finally, in a world that's constantly just bombarding us with messages of comparison and competition, we have focus on you. It's about choosing your inputs wisely, curating your social media feeds, celebrating your own unique progress, and remembering that your worth is inherent, not dependent on external validation.
It's about silencing that inner critic and choosing to be your own biggest cheerleader.
Exactly. So these 5 tools, when practiced, consistently become the building blocks of unshakable confidence.
But I think it's also super important to remember that confidence isn't just a set of techniques.
Right.
It's a way of being in the world.
Yeah.
How do we cultivate that inner strength, that sense of self-assuredness that radiates outwards?
You're absolutely right. True confidence goes beyond just doing. It's about being.
Okay.
And a big part of that is self-awareness.
Right.
Pay attention to your inner dialogue, those thoughts that run through your mind.
Yeah.
Challenge the negative ones, replace them with positive affirmations.
It's like becoming the editor of our own mental movie.
Yeah.
Choosing to focus on the empowering scenes and cut out the self-sabotaging ones.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of your physical presence. Remember, your body language speaks volumes. Stand tall.
Right.
Make eye contact, move with purpose. It not only projects confidence to others, but it also sends a message to your own brain.
It's like saying, hey, world, here I am, and I'm ready to take on whatever comes my way.
And remember, building confidence is not a solo mission. Surround yourself with supportive people who believe in you, encourage you, and celebrate your wins.
Because we all need a team of cheerleaders, people who remind us of our strengths and help us through those inevitable moments of self-doubt.
And be that supportive person for others. Offer encouragement, celebrate their successes, and lend a listening ear when they're struggling. Giving support is just as empowering as receiving it.
It's about creating a culture of support and encouragement, both for ourselves and for those around us.
And finally, remember that building confidence is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
There will be ups and downs, challenges that test our resolve, and moments when we feel like we're taking 2 steps back for every step forward.
But it's in those moments of challenge that we have the opportunity to build resilience, to learn from our mistakes, and to come back stronger than before.
Exactly. Embrace the process. Celebrate your progress, and remember that you have within you everything you need to create the life you desire. A life filled with confidence, purpose, and authentic self-expression.
This has been such an incredible deep dive. I'm feeling so inspired and empowered to take action, to embrace those challenges, and to build that unshakable confidence I know is within me.
And remember, these tools are just the starting point. The real magic happens when you take what you've learned and apply it to your own unique life, your own unique goals, and your own unique journey.
So to all our listeners out there, we encourage you to take that first step to choose one tool and start practicing it today. And remember, you are capable of so much more than you think.
We believe in you.
And we're here to support you every step of the way. Now go out there and build that unshakable confidence. You got this.
And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the topics that matter most to you. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.